Can you see me?
No.
Can you hear me?
It just says waiting for Marie and Nicole. That's all it says.
Can you see me now?
Nope.
What the hell? I could see me.
You have 5 waiting now.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? I don't see anything. Oh, now I can. It's so dark.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the light on. Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you. See me now? Yeah. Oh my God, that noise is terrible.
I know, I can't get rid of it. I tried it. Because we're on the phone. All right, let me hang up the phone. Hey guys. Where's the volume source? Matthew G. Okay, I got it. Can you hear me? Just give it a couple more minutes and we'll get started, guys, okay? Can you hear me? Okay, so I did what Matthew told me, so I guess it worked. Hi, Allison. Hi, Rami. Hi, Dream Big. I know Mark Z's having whiskey and wisdom. I feel bad. I'll get started in like 2 minutes. Hi, Susan. Hi, JDK. And thank you, Matthew, for fixing my issue. I had a long day, guys. I'm so tired. Hey, Cap, how are you? By the way, I loved your comment under one of my shorts. It was great. And I agree with you 100%. Yeah, you guys could start asking me questions. Well, Allison, ask your questions, whatever you want. I'm ready for you guys. Ask away. Okay, I'll do that. Allison, I'll repeat the question and then answer it. Hi Carla, how are you? Like I said in my last live, Carla's asking if I know the rate. In my opinion, from what I'm being told, for the IQD 386 to 425, Vietnamese dong from $2 to $2.25, and for the Indonesian rupiah, $1.40. And Iranian real, if it does go in this basket, anywhere 3 and up. And that's in my opinion. Tim Brown, did you see my XRP comment? Yes, I did. And then I asked you about it and you never replied to me. So can you reply to me? What's happening on the 18th? I already actually found out, but you could tell me, Tim. Hi, Carla. Thank you so much. Tim, actually, Mark Z apparently is saying that the rates are supposed to be a lot higher, but that's the rates that I was told. So, and I was told by someone that's pretty connected with Chase. So, I think I'm gonna go with that. I mean, if they come out higher, they come out higher. That's great. But as of right now, that's what I'm hearing. Well, Tim, let me ask you a question. You're saying they're low rates, but I mean, I would take 50 cents right now, right? If you have a couple million, that's pretty good money. Don't you agree? Yes, Matthew, I do. I think they're holding back on a lot of things. Matthew is asking, do you think Iraq's potential oil production is? I think they're only producing a fraction what's possible and they have been holding back. Yes, they have huge oil reserves and huge gold reserves, and they're not telling us exactly what is in those reserves. Okay, JDK. JDK is asking me, you mentioned that you don't believe in the redemption centers. Can you elaborate why? I know Mark Z talks about them. Okay, I love Mark Z. I think Mark Z is awesome. And he's such a super nice guy. But my belief is the bank. First of all, if like the way he explains it, the redemption center is the redeeming bank. So it's actually where you're going to exchange your currency. So they, I just don't see a reason. Like anybody could literally set up a center and say, "Oh, it's a redemption center." You're going to bring in your currency. You're going to give them your currency, and then you'll never see your currency again. Just like don't ever lose sight of your currency. So if a bank says to you, "Hey, I want to send out your currency," like some banks are saying, "Oh, well, you're going to bring in your currency. We're going to send it out to, say, Bank of America. We're going to send it out to another Chase branch." You never do that. Oh, okay. Well, where are you sending it to? I'm going to go there and I'm going to exchange there. Don't ever, ever, ever let your eyes off your currency, ever. And that is why I don't agree with redemption centers. I'm only going to a bank, or like if somebody can't go to a bank or say they don't have a bank account, I would go to like an exchange center at the airport, or like reliable exchange centers that you trust. But for me, it's only going to be the bank. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about um, some exchange procedures and different things like that to help you guys out. And by the way, if you don't have a checking account, I would highly, highly recommend that you go open a checking account and just go in there and say, "Listen, I want to open a checking account." You know what I mean? Have checking account, savings account, but checking is good enough, because if you don't have an account, they're not going to exchange your currency. And you're not going to be able to go in, open an account, and then say, "Oh, I'm opening up an account and I'm going to exchange my currency." You have to have an account prior to your exchange. So please, please, please go open up an account, whether it's at Wells, whether it's at Chase, Bank of America. Those going to be definitely the banks that are participating. Citibank, I'm hearing PNC is also going to be participating. So I would go and definitely open up a bank account. Yes, Matthew, the bank is a redemption. That's what it is. It's a redeeming bank. They're redeeming your currency. They're exchanging it. Matthew G said the bank is the only redemption center. Yes, that's correct. Matthew said he's bringing a lawyer with him. I'm actually bringing a lawyer, a financial advisor. My financial advisor is going to be on a video call, a lawyer, and I would bring a tax attorney with you to your exchange. Yes, and dream big is correct. Take pictures, please, of the front and back of each of your notes, so you have copies of everything. Carla's asking when they're going to release the rate. I'm going to tell you guys in my honest opinion, my very, very, very strong opinion, and I've been saying this for like the last 2 weeks. I believe strongly in my heart, in my strong opinion, that they're going to release the rate prior to the DNC. I really strongly feel that, because I think the Democrats are going to have to pull something out of their hat, and especially after that X show with Mr. T and Elon, that they definitely and I don't know if you heard, but Secretary Blinken made a call to Soudani the day after Mr. T had that show with Elon Musk. And per Frank 26, Soudani that next day was headed into a secret, like closed door meeting with the CBI. He was with a huge security, like um, delegation or whatever you call them, with him, and he had closed door meeting with the CBI. I wonder what they were discussing. So, and also per Frank 26, they got a speaker, and also the HCL is apparently done. They're just waiting to announce it. Hold on one second. I have to catch up on. Yes, Matthew. He said there's going to be a lot of scammers. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of scammers. That's why you go to a reliable bank, a big bank, which is it is a redeeming bank. It's a redemption center. But it's a bank. Rami says, if you don't have a bank account, but you have a boat of currency, they will open a new account in pronto. I can't answer that, Rami. All I know is that I was told if you do not have a bank account, they will not exchange your currency. But you can always go and ask. And also, for Chase, you could talk to JP Morgan, Wealth Management, as far as that's concerned as well. Um, Will the banks redeem the ZIM? JDK is asking. I was told that the only bank that will participate with the ZIM is going to be Wells Fargo. But I would have to get more information about that. As far as Chase or Bank of America, I don't think they're doing the ZIM. And Rami said, nobody knows when. Yeah, that's true, Rami, but you can guess and you can have intuition and kind of like I see some signs and I get feelings and you know, as I said in my strong opinion, I think it'll go before the DNC. Allison is asking when is the DNC? The DNC is on August 19th. Matthew G thinks early October. I think before. Oh, do you, JDK? He says I have too much to copy front and back. Haha, lucky you. But don't ever tell anybody how much currency you have, please. India and France already using the yuan. That's what Tim says. Oh, Tim, did you hear that India is also using XRP? And BRICS said, Tim, yes, BRICS is live, yeah. What is the BRICS token called again? And it's backed by gold, right, Tim? Hi, Yvonne. Yvonne says, I watch a lot of these gurus and they've been saying the HCL has been done for a year now. So what is it? Yeah, I've been hearing the same thing, but apparently it's actually done this time. And apparently it Sudani, they just sent it back to Sudani. And like I said, the US Treasury being there is a big help for us as well. Oh, did Militia Man just drop a video? I'm sure it's going to be a good one. Thanks, Cap. Allison's asking, what's the DNC? The DNC is the Democratic National Convention, Allison. Tim, can you tell me the name of the BRICS token again? I think it's called, forgot what it's called. Carla's asking, do we know when the dong will exchange? As far as I know, they're all supposed to go together at one time. Carla. Yeah, apparently the HCL, they've been the speaker was a big piece of this whole thing. And I think when the Treasury got there, they did a lot of pushing. They need this done a lot, like and quick, in my opinion. By the way, did you guys watch Borderlands? I wanted to get your opinion on it. What you guys think of the movie? Oh, so I have a question for you guys that have been in this quite a while. So, how do you guys feel about Simon Parks and his intel? Could you guys let me know in the comments, please? The unit. Thank you, Tim Brown. Thank you. And it's backed by gold, right? Allison is asking when do I think they'll announce the HCL? I think they're going to announce the HCL, Allison, as soon as at the same time they release the rate. So I believe the rate, the HCL, and the speaker will all be announced at the same time. Well, Simon Parks apparently is saying that it's going to be a private RV, not a public RV, which I don't agree with, but because it's going to make a lot of people angry, in my opinion. And I don't know. He seems I don't know, but apparently he's got a whole lot of NDAs and he's like connected to the military, and I don't know. That's what I'm hearing, but I wanted to hear your guys' opinion on him. And apparently his intel is like super solid, and he's the only one that really knows what's going on. I know he knows a lot about Zim because he talks a lot about the humanitarian projects. Thank you, Tim. Tim just said that the unit is back 40% gold, 30% currency, and 30% commodities. And yeah, you guys should get some gold and silver too. It's really important right now because the dollar is just gonna crash, I think. I think we're gonna get a big, big crash. Rob is asking, what does he mean private? He basically means that it's going to be like kept on the DL, like on a down low, like it's not going to be publicly announced. But I don't agree with that because once it's announced in country, everyone's going to know because you're not going to be able to keep that quiet. So I don't know what he's talking about. But like I said, I just wanted to, get your opinion. I mean, Susan said the bank wants your business. Yes, they do want your business, especially if it's a lot of money. But they still have their policies and procedures they have to follow. Just like wealth man, you'll be dealing with private banking and wealth management. I mean, at least that's like that at Chase. Yeah, once it hits Forex, things dream big. It's public to everyone. As soon as it hits that foreign exchange market, you can go to any participating bank and exchange your currency. And once you exchange, and some banks will say we have to send it out to verify. I wouldn't do that. I would go to a different branch, and I would have them verify at the branch, deposit in your account. It's available immediately in your account. But as far as taking out cash, you can only take up to 15K cash a day. Rob says, I was always under the impression that there would be a false flag event or real event under which the redemption would occur before Forex releases. I agree with that 100%. And it also goes with Kim Clement's prophecy. And I think the big event is going to be when Iran finally attacks Israel and Israel hits their nuclear plant. And we're going to think we're in World War III, but it's going to be a false flag. Matthew is asking, am I going to wait or immediately exchange? I'm going to immediately exchange some of my currency. And then I'll wait and see how it rises. Simon and Charlie like your money. I like that comment, Tim. That's right, Yvonne. Never let them send out your currency. Don't ever let it out of your sight. Because remember that one note can make you extremely wealthy. I wouldn't trust that's money. I wouldn't nobody's keeping my money. You're gonna verify and do everything in front of me. I'm my attorney, my financial advisor, and my tax attorney. Kat, I heard Trump say, I mean Mr. T say when he did the interview with Elon that supposedly last night or tonight they're supposed to start. Cap is talking about the Iran's attack on Israel. Actually, Iran's central bank, they had a cyber attack today. I wonder who did that. Allison's asking, why do I think the RV will happen before the DNC? Allison, in my opinion, the Democrats right now are going to try to do everything in their power to try to win the election. So they're going to do whatever it takes. Just like they were against crypto. And then all of a sudden, Mr. T talked about it. Now they're all about crypto. And then maybe a week after Trump, Mr. T talked about it at the Bitcoin convention, all of a sudden the judge makes a ruling on the XRP case. So in my opinion, they're pretty desperate right now. They're going to do whatever it takes. Jeannie's asking, would all the bank workers also want to exchange if they know about it and then quit their jobs? So Jeannie, in my opinion, I don't think the frontline employees will know about it until it's already on Forex for that reason. And I also think, I'm not 100%, but from what I heard from my contacts is that the bank employees are not allowed to purchase currency. They're going to be quite angry, though, when they see all these people coming into exchange. And I also think once the raid is announced in Iraq, they have up to 72 hours to celebrate before it goes public on Forex. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Yes, Carla makes a really good point. Make sure you have all your documents with your money, how you acquired, receipts for sure. Even if you don't get asked for them, still bring them just in case. Your ID. I was actually, when I was at the bank, I was actually told to even bring like proof of residency and stuff like that too. They check everything, especially if you have a lot of currency you're exchanging, because they want to make sure it's not stolen and counterfeit and different things like that. Tim says Warren Buffett and Trump have pallets of dinar. I agree with that. I think actually Mr. T's behind doing all this with Iraq behind the scenes. Rob Wayne, I have to agree with Carla. They will be, because especially if you have a lot of currency and you're coming in to exchange it, they're going to want to know that it's legit. You got it, legitimately and stuff like that. I think the U.S. Treasury, Tim, holds, what is it, a couple billion Iraqi dinar. Tim saying that the U.S. Treasury holds dinar. Matthew says he thinks there's 20,000 U.S. citizens that own dinar. Matthew, I think it's more like close to 2 million people own dinar. Mr. T's the man. Oh, Rob, he said, I picked up this woman, didn't talk to her until the end of the trip. She said she worked for the U.S. Treasury. And I was like, well, I asked her if the IRS is being assimilated by the U.S. Treasury. And she said, yes. That's funny. The dong is the big surprise. How is the dong the big surprise, Tim? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the Fed is being taken over by Ripple now, from what I'm hearing. And aren't they eliminating the IRS anyway? Or that's part of Nassar? I'm not very sure about that. Well, like hi Allison's asking if precious metals will back crypto if the dollar collapses. Well, like I said, they're supposed to back XRP with gold, XLM with silver, and XDC with copper. Allison. Ted is asking, do you have to sign an NDA? No, Tim, you don't have to sign an NDA unless you want to. I personally don't want to, and I'm not going to. Um, JDK says if the Bolivar would be the sleeper. Yes, I agree with that. I think the dong is just going to come out with the dinar. But the Bolivar might surprise everyone. Carla, 60 billion. Are you saying Mr. T has 60 billion dinar or the US Treasury has 60 billion dinar? Can you clarify, please? No, Allison, I'm not on Telegram, sweetie. Tim, you're talking about Iraq, right? Sitting on rare minerals? Rob says I can't type for. That's all right. Yes. Yeah, crypto is always going to be safe. That's why you want to diversify with crypto, gold and silver, and real estate, Allison. She asked if cryptos will be safe when the dollar drops. Yeah. I'm going to invest in a lot. I already have crypto, but I'm going to invest in a lot more. Rob says, I learned the last 15 years you have to live your life day to day with the RV on the back burner. You go nuts. Yeah. Just, keep working and living your life. And when it happens, it happens. It's a blessing. I look at it as a blessing. Multi-Troy says, hopefully this month. In my opinion, I would have to agree with that. And by the way, today, Mike Barr was talking about August 23rd and between 21st and 23rd for the RV. And Jen actually confirmed that. So if you guys want to watch that stream, they're on Rumble. And apparently the bond people are liquid. But that's what I'm hearing. Oh, yeah, the U.S. Treasury holds a lot. 60 billion. Thank you, Carla. Oh, wow, Tim. Yeah, you got to watch. You got to watch. Thanks, Carla. She said Mr. T had them put it into an account as oil monies like a trust. Allison, how will we know when to exchange? They should be going up higher and higher in Forex. So when will we know? Well, when it initially comes out, Allison, It's up to you what you want to do. But based on supply and demand, you will just see it. Like you will check the Forex market and you will see. So for example, say the rate is like 350, and then in a couple hours it could go up to $4. It's all on supply and demand. Or the next day it could be, I mean, it's gonna rise based on supply and demand. So how many people are buying and selling it? You just gotta keep checking Forex. And then decide on what you want to do, whether you want to exchange everything, just some. You could exchange like maybe one note and wait. It's all up to you how you want to do it, Allison. Matthew said that he doesn't think the dong has anything to do with what's happening. Vietnam is a human resource economy, and China would never let Vietnam revalue. It would kill their economy. Well, actually, China will let Vietnam revalue because eventually it's going to benefit China. And like I said, they're waiting on China to invade Taiwan to free up Vietnam and let the dong go. And the communist leader just passed away in Vietnam. And there's a lot of things happening in Vietnam, a lot of changes. Tim, who's Pittsburgh? Tim said Pittsburgh got food. Who's that? Rob Lane, I'm going to rent out some Bitcoin miners, and I researched it last night, and the website I went on Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, just know when to hold them and when to fold them. I said the dong will revalue, and a lot of the communists, like the communist leader of Vietnam, just passed away. They're doing a lot of stuff. Which is going to free up the dong. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. From what I heard, the dong, Shantae is asking, from what I heard, the dong is going to come out anywhere from $2 to $2.25, in my opinion. Rob says, I read that if you have no projects. Allison's asking, if someone has multi-billions and wants to diversify crypto and physical assets, how do they buy and store billions in gold safely? A pick of $1 billion worth of gold is the size of an SUV. Allison, I would not tell anyone how much you have. I would just buy, first of all, I wouldn't buy that much at one time. I would buy different amounts, and keep it safe. And crypto, I would just, you know what I mean? There's different limits on the exchanges. Rob says you only get 15 million for 100 TZM. I think that's a decent amount of money, Rob, don't you? Oh, look, my son is on. Everyone say hi to my son, Nick. He's so gorgeous. My son is absolutely gorgeous. Nick, say hi to everyone. My son is young, but he's going to be investing in cryptos, right, Nick? You're going to invest in crypto? Oh, really, JDK? That's awesome. Nick, what are you going to invest in when you're able to invest? Write it in chat. My son just said Iraq dinar. He hears it all. He hears about it all the time. All the time. He hears like me talking about it. Nick, are you going to invest in XRP? Bitcoin? Thanks for saying that, James. James says the notes on the Zim had the number on them. Supposed to be linked to land, which may have gold and other minerals in it. Rab, I have Ripple too. Do you like Ripple? I think Ripple is going to make you a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Allison, I don't get the Zim projects. Normal people doing projects with billions of dollars when most have new owned their businesses or managed that much sounds nuts. I don't know, Allison. I have a few Zim notes. See, my son is going to invest in XRP too. Didn't they already launch the QFS? Didn't that already happen? Oh my God, Rob says, anyone here listen to XRP line? I'm not going to comment on that. Yeah, Allison, that makes a lot of sense. She said you can hire professionals to do projects, like to help you with them. Hi, Eric. Thanks for joining. I hope it's closed ending too. What about Bruce? Didn't he have his call earlier today? Didn't he say that the rates are already on the screens for the Iraqi dinar? $16 Yvonne. Wow. Rab says I take Bruce with a lot of salt. XRP is to be fast and cheap. If it goes up in price, how is it cheap? Well, it's cheap now, Tim. So you can get it now. But I'm telling you, it's going to be used for cross-border payments. Institutions are going to be using XRP. You think it's going to be low in price? And it's super fast too. Like, say you want to send Bitcoin, it takes a while. If you want to send XRP, it's like super quick, and it's a lot cheaper than if you buy Bitcoin and send it. Because Eric says, why can't someone take a picture of the screens if they see the rate? Sometimes when they show you, like, the bank actually shows you, they have the OFAC list. So the OFAC list is the currencies that are like listed on the OFAC list, which they're not allowed to use. So they're like bad currencies. The only currency listed on the OFAC list right now is Iranian rial. Iraq is not on there, which means that they don't have like bank sanctions on them. But they don't, like, they could turn the computer for you, but they're never gonna let you take a picture of the screens. Like, they'll have, like, what it is, it's a bunch of currencies listed on the computer screen, and you could see the rate, like what that currency's worth at the, at the current time. So it's like their Forex, basically. So what that specific currency is currently trading at that specific time when they're checking. That's, it's like their back screen, but it's all the currencies that they exchange, and like it lists the currency and it lists the rate. Or they could put your note through a machine and it'll tell you what that country is worth as well. And now they also have these like new ATMs. They're these big white ATM machines. I've seen them so far just at Chase. They also do foreign currency. You could check your foreign currency on those ATMs. Hi, Gwen. So I seen all your comments, and I just been so busy. I haven't had a chance to reply. So much great info. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Oh, MDS is here. Hey, how are you? We're almost there, in my opinion. Did anyone watch Frank tonight? He had a good show. He had Andy Sheckman on yesterday. I think Andy Sheckman is absolutely amazing. And if you want to buy precious metals, I would definitely recommend Miles Franklin for sure. My aunt actually has dealt with him for years and had nothing but amazing experience with Miles Franklin. So if you guys are looking to get gold or silver, I would contact him. Frank had him on yesterday. Rob says, anyone here that will be offered medbed access at exchange? No comment on the medbeds. I can't comment on that. Allison, I really think you need like a financial advisor. I have a financial advisor, super helpful. What Forex, Carla? Carla's saying Forex is showing the dinar floating 330. Are you talking about Forex Live, Carla? That's the back of Forex. That's not the actual Forex, if that's what you're talking about. Tim says, did you guys hear 107 to use dinar's wallpaper? Oh my God. I don't think 107 believes in the dinar. I don't. But I guess, when he sees it, he'll believe it. Or he knows about it and just isn't able to talk about it. I adore Frank 26. I really just love that man. So amazing. And he's been in this so long. And, every time I hear he has like a health problem, I just want to cry because I feel so bad for him. Awesome, awesome man. I'm going to miss him a lot when he's off YouTube. Oh, thanks, MDS. I appreciate it. He says he's starting to enjoy my live shoes. Rob says Frank needs to have his own reality show. I think he will. You know that somebody just wrote a song for him. He plays it every time he starts his YouTube and at the end. It's actually pretty cute. Can't watch 107. JDK says MDS Juan is so full of it. Please don't even go there. LO. My fave Nino has Juan on all the time. That's his favorite. Did some boots on the ground. I went to chase or go off me. Check out some other branches, Gwen. She didn't have any luck with Chase, Wells, or Bank of America. Different branches will tell you different things. Like I've had experiences, obviously where I'm from, and Texas and Cali, that are fully aware of what's going on, and also in the same town, some branches weren't at all, like clueless completely. Dream Big says 107 is purposely given disinformation. Could be. Like I said, he might definitely, just like Charlie Ward, I believe too. Oh, Frank is gonna do a movie. That's gonna be fun. I'm coming. I'm going to watch that. Mm-hmm. Robin, Gwen, do you guys mind saying, like, are you on the East Coast, West Coast? Like, where are you guys at? Oh, thank you, Allison. You're very welcome. I'm glad I can help. Can I do a live video with Frank? I don't know. I can ask Frank, but I doubt he would do a live. He would probably do a call. I actually want to do a live stream with SGN or John Dowling. What do you guys think? SGN and John Dowling? SG definitely has very solid intel. And when it comes to geopolitics and stuff, he'll really be able to answer a lot of questions. Shantae, you could buy XRP on Coinbase, Crypto.com, Uphold, or Kraken. I love Kraken. That's the exchange I usually get my cryptos from. I think it's the easiest one. You just go to assets, pick whatever asset you want to get, and just buy it. And you enter like your debit card information. Kraken also accepts Apple Pay or a bank account. Okay, MDS. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, Rob, I do have a very good BS detector. But we're not going to go into who I think is but we'll just leave it at that. But I can detect BS very, very well. Yes, James, I said Citi. I said Citi, Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo. Those are the four banks that are going to participate. Does anyone know how to get in touch with John Dowling? I could probably reach out to my friend Nick Vinyamin and see if he can make that happen. Yes, Allison, I love Ariel. Did you see what he posted yesterday? He posted all the procedures for exchange companies, category A and category B. That's another reason why, in my opinion, I think we're very, very close. I am on X, yes. I'm under the same name on X, Allison. It's Maria Nicole. Carla, why are you done with Frank 26? MDS, this is what I have to say about that. I really like Nader a lot, but I think sometimes he kind of goes back and forth. So because he said, and then he said, oh, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen any day. Then he talked about the 3 zeros, which I like. He said that, if they go 1-to-1, it's 25K, it's 25K. So even if they drop the zeros, you're still getting, so your 3-0 note is still going to be 3 zeros. He actually had a pretty good live yesterday besides that, but he does go back and forth. Like he'll say, oh, it's going to happen, then and then. But I like Nader for the most. He's pretty honest. He's pretty straight up. He's no BS. And I believe that maybe he knows some stuff as well that he can't talk about, because he was talking about he just came back from Iraq 2 weeks ago. So maybe certain things he can't discuss either. And I definitely don't think it's going to go anywhere near the election, in my opinion. Not at all. That's not what I'm hearing at all. I had Militia Man. I did a video with Militia Man before. But I would love to have him on if he wants to come on. I love Militia Man too. And highly respect Militia Man. Allison, I think we're close because of everything that's going on. I think the speaker was a big piece of this whole thing. And I think the U.S. Treasury being there is a big piece. So the speaker's done. The HCL looks like about to be. I think it's all going to be announced together. And like I said, I think it's going to be prior to the Democratic National Convention. Yeah, Gwen. See, they said they didn't know what a Delarue machine is. Well, they should, because a lot of cheese branches have a Delarue machine in them. I've seen many Delarue machines. But Nader's funny too. Nader can come on my show too. So if anybody is in touch with him, I would love to have him on as well. Hear what his thoughts are. Okay, Rod Steele. Rod Steele. I mean, in my opinion, he's Rod Steele. I don't know how solid his intel is, but I'm not going to say anything negative. Yeah, if anybody can get in touch with Nader, I would love to have him on. Definitely. But he does flip flop. And Rob, from what I'm hearing, Rob said Chase called him out of the blue. They've been sending a lot of like advertisements for wealth management and stuff, and I see a lot of wealth management commercials as well. Why did you get defensive, Rob? You should have been like, when can I come in to exchange my dinar? Do you know? Oh, and Frank also said today that apparently Jamie Dimon is doing a bus tour and opening up 300 more Chase branches. And he was in Arkansas like last week. And when he was asked about the dinar, he said that Chase is helping Iraq with their banking reforms, but couldn't give any more information. Jamie Dimon is another one that knows more than he says, in my opinion. I Frank is he's so adorable, like so adorable, with his suits and now his song, and he's just fun to listen to. I would love to do a show with Frank 26. Yeah, Gwen, open an account, definitely. Yeah, Frank said something about October 1st, but then he got a report that it's going to be before, in his opinion. Love Jim Willie. Solid dude, Tim. Solid dude. Very, very, very solid guy. Actually, Jim Willie said that the dong is going to go before the Iraqi dinar. He is solid. He's another one I would like to have on my show. TNT Tony. TNT Tony, Rod Steele, and Bruce should all get together and do a call. I think it would be fabulous. Thank you, Ted. Oh my God, Allison. No, I'm not going to read that out loud, but that's hilarious. Thanks for sharing that. That's funny. I always suspected that, but wasn't sure. Why does Jim Willie get the sniffles? I have no idea. Gwen, may I ask you why you think the RV is private? I was asking people earlier because that's what Simon Parks has been saying, but everybody's kind of saying that Simon Parks has never been right about anything. So, why do you feel it's going to go be private? Because I was saying earlier that he's got like 5 NDAs. So, but I think aren't his NDAs predominantly for the Zim, or does he have NDAs? Does anyone know for the Iraqi dinar too? Uh, the current president is already. Hold on one second, guys. Um, Hold on one second. Hold on, I'm looking. Simon Parks. My God, I'm gonna have to end soon, guys. I'll do another live later this week. Okay. Ariel's on X, Ty. Hi, Ty. Simon Parks did an interview with Rod Steele. I didn't see that interview. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. I'll see you later this week, okay? Thank you all for joining. Have a good night. Bye.